Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today's yoga practice is a full body stretch for flexibility. I am going to use a couple props. I've got some cushions for my knees. I've got 2 hand towels rolled up, and then I'm going to lay on my blocks, but find a little bit of space to move, and let's get started. All right, we are going to begin laying down. You can have your towels or your cushions for your knees off to the side. I'm going to lay on my blocks today, but you can be flat on your back or on something a lot softer. But let's find our way down. Oh, one of those days where the blocks feel oh so good. Extra good because they always feel good. But just make sure that whatever you are laying on, you're happy with it, you feel supported. And you can decide what you'd like to do with your legs. You might end up in a diamond shape with them to open up through your hips. And then finally, should you want to turn your chin towards the left shoulder a little bit, if you're laying on something where your head is supported, you could add a little twist for your neck here. Maybe that means your right hand's going to come behind your head, kind of reach for your ear, and then stay there as a pillow. And then maybe you'll feel your shoulder too. This might be a full body stretch in itself. Just let your eyes close if you haven't already. Notice your breath. And if you do have your chin tipping over to that left shoulder, you can start to move your head all the way over to the other side, but maybe you use your hands to help. Your left hand might reach for your ear and then stay there as a pillow. As you turn your chin over towards your right shoulder. And then slowly just starting to bring your chin back up. And take your hands out from behind your head too, if that's where they are. Just resting your arms at your side. Can you wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes? And scan your entire body here. How are you feeling so far today? Should you be laying on top of something, we will sit up and take it out. And come back down so that you are flat on your back. And maybe you'll hug your knees into your chest. Sway side to side if you'd like. Massage your back against the ground. Then you might keep your left knee, but let your right foot find the ground. And we'll place our left foot on top of the right quad. So a few options for our figure 4. You can keep your right foot flat and plant it on the ground. You could lift it up into the air, hugging the legs, and then feeling more of a stretch through the left glute and hip. You can also try to bring your right foot to the ground, but keep the heel lifted. So a little point to the toes, and then trying to maybe actually rest on the top of the toes instead of the bottom of the toes. And maybe you feel a stretch through your foot, but then you're going to plant that foot flat again. And you can either lift your foot all the way back up into the air, or we can tip our legs over to the left and turn your upper body too so that you're comfortable on your left side. And then maybe our right foot will move again, lifting the heel, kind of point to the toes and trying to rest on the top of them. So they might move a little bit closer. You might even grab your foot, tucking it in and just trying to rest on the top of the toes, but still in this figure 4 shape, maybe on your left side. If you did tip yourself over, we're going to tip ourselves back. You might untuck your toes first or uncurl them if you're on the top of them, or you might just keep them that way. Tip yourself onto your back again, and then let your foot pop up into the air if it wants to lift. Hug your legs towards your chest. Take another breath or two, maybe an ankle circle or a few with your right foot. And then you can start to bring your feet to the ground, both of them, or just uncross your legs and hug them in towards your chest. Rock it out, maybe with a sway side to side. Then you can keep your right knee, but let your left foot come to the ground. Figure 4, right foot on top of that left quad. So we can keep the left foot flat. We can lift it up and hug the legs. You can stay here the whole time. And maybe you're going to try to lower that left foot again, keeping the heel lifted, trying to rest on the top of maybe a few toes. See how that feels. And then plant that foot flat if you were stretching those toes there. Maybe you're going to lift your foot back up into the air, or maybe you're going to tip your legs over and the upper body too, and then try to tuck those toes again. You could try to reach for the foot just to bring it a little bit snugger towards your hip. Resting on the top of the toes a little bit. A nice extra foot stretch. And if you did tip yourself over, you're going to tip back, maybe untucking the toes along the way. The left foot might end up back into the air though. And maybe a few ankle circles. Nice work, you guys. Either planting your feet as you let your legs go, or hug both of your knees into your chest. Take a rock or sway side to side if that feels good. And then we're going to be finding our way up, all the way to tabletop. So come onto your hands and knees. So we're going to start here with our knees about hip-width apart. If you want to add any cushions underneath your knees, you can do that now, or maybe after. But we're going to reach both of our arms forwards and in front, and we're going to go a little bit wider with our hands.
So our knees about hip width apart, but maybe our hands wider than our shoulders. Maybe the pinkies are lightly touching the edges of your mat, but reaching the hands in front, lengthening the arms, and then let your chest come down. Maybe you're resting on your forehead. Maybe you're resting on your chest and your chin for this wide-armed puppy dog stretch. So take another breath and use an inhale to help you lift up. Move your hands under your shoulders back to your tabletop. Take a gentle sway, maybe the shoulders, maybe the hips. Now we're going to do that again, but maybe bring our knees wider. So if you do want to add some cushions under your knees, I'm still going to keep my knees on my mat for now, but I am going to add my cushions, my towels. So our knees are going to be wide. We're going to let our feet try to stay wide too. The big toes might be tempted to find one another. That's fine, but maybe you keep the feet as wide as your knees. And then start to reach forwards. You can keep your hands wide. You can bring them closer together. The closer you go, the deeper you will be in the shoulders. But still that puppy dog stretch. Letting the forehead come down, or maybe the chest and the chin. So take another breath. And then using an inhale to lift, you're going to come back to tabletop. You can bring your knees in too. Sway it out, the shoulders, the hips. Now, if you've had enough with reaching forwards, you don't have to do that again. Maybe we will focus on bringing our knees wider. If you want to do another puppy dog stretch, you can have your knees under your hips or out nice and wide. So let's try to keep the feet as wide as the knees. If you're pretty wide with those knees in frog, your toes might be pointing out to the sides. You can start to come down a little bit onto your forearms. Get those hips opening up. And this is a nice deep hip opener. So you might just stay on your forearms. You might scoot your forearms out in front and see if the chest will come down, and maybe the chin too. So depending on how low your hips are to the ground, if you're reaching your arms forwards from frog, you might not really feel your shoulders, but it might deepen the hips you are opening. Take another breath or two. And then you can slowly find your way back up all the way to tabletop. All of us, let's all meet in tabletop. Sway the shoulders, sway the hips. And you can take a seat when you're feeling ready to move. Find a nice seated position where you could hug your knees to your chest. Sway side to side. And then we're going to lean back just a little bit and turn our chest over towards the right. Bring your right hand behind you, and maybe your left arm will cross over top of your knees. You could scoot your feet together, your knees together, a little lean back, turning the chest, maybe even peeking behind you for a bit of a twist. And then just using an inhale to face forwards. You can stay leaning back though. Moving your arms, turning your chest to the left, maybe peeking behind you. And using an inhale to face forwards once again. And then you can round the spine and lay all the way down. Bring your feet a little closer or hug your knees all the way in towards your chest one more time. You might even extend your legs up above you, holding on to the legs to support them, or resting your hands at your sides, but press your low back into the ground and see if you can get a little bit lighter through your feet, through your ankle. You might even point and flex the feet. You might even try to touch your toes with your fingertips as you point them towards your forehead. Bring some extra length into the back of the legs. And if your low back lifts on you, you can let it, then try to press it down again. And if you do have your feet floating, your legs straight, you can bend the knees again, hug them in towards your chest. Take a sway side to side. And then let your feet come down all the way to the ground and send your legs out long. Bring your feet wide. Rest your arms somewhere comfortable. Close your eyes and take another moment here just to scan your body. What sensations are flowing through you? As always, I encourage you to stay here in Shavasana for as long as you have time for today. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, namaste.